for more than 42 years.
This is one of the most dangerous hurricanes in years, and it's hitting right here, right now, all along the Gulf Coast. Hurricane Opal, powerful winds, driving rain, flooding, forces thousands to evacuate the area.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. As this southern coast, Gulf Coast of the United States is being pounded right now by a hurricane that is especially powerful and especially dangerous. The central area being hit hardest by the hurricane stretches from the mouth of the Mississippi River to western Florida north of Tampa. Now, when it was just offshore, it was considered to be a Category 4 hurricane. That's next to the strongest. As it moved inland, it was downgraded slightly to a Hurricane 3. What that means is, at our last look, these winds were a sustained 125 miles an hour, with some gusts as high as 145 and even 150 miles an hour. What's been happening these last few minutes is the sea has come pounding in, destroying nearly everything on this beach behind me, and the wind continues to pick up speed. Long minutes, get it close to an hour after the very eye is said to have hit Pensacola, Florida. Now, we're going to be reporting on this big storm all during the broadcast, and we'll also, of course, cover the story of the Pope coming to the United States and the aftermath of the Simpson verdict. But right now, here in Panama City, Florida, the situation is that the storm continues to pound. This was said to be an especially fierce storm, and that's the way it's turning out. This is a ghost town for all intents and purposes. People this afternoon, with the ghosts of hurricanes past very much in their mind, they packed up, boarded up, and headed out. They got out of here, very wisely so, to safer, higher ground. Our coverage begins now with Diana Gonzalez in Pensacola, Florida.
As ominous Opal sped across the Gulf, Pensacola residents rushed to get out of harm's way. From one of the most dangerous hurricanes of the century, Diana Gonzalez, CBS News, Pensacola.
Here in Panama City Beach, much of the power is out, and there's the eerie blue light all on these electrical power lines of power going out and sparks flying everywhere. Operating between Panama City and Pensacola, Florida, has been CBS News correspondent Art Rascone. Art?
Dan, as you know, this is a mean, ugly storm. I made my way further up north earlier this afternoon near Fort Walton Beach, near the eye of the storm. Here's what I saw and heard. This is just the beginning. 15-foot swells crashing away at beachfront properties.
At one time, up to 140 miles an hour. Opal, a bad hurricane along the coastline.
Dr. Neil Frank, I'll have more from here on the scene as the hurricane blows in later in the broadcast. Right now, to New York and John Roberts for the rest of the day's news.
Dan? A day after the Simpson verdict, Americans are still debating it. In a new CBS News poll, only 42% of the respondents said 1,000 firefighters have been unable to bring the blaze under control. Also out of control tonight on Florida's Panhandle, Hurricane Opal, forcing thousands of people from their homes. So much so is this hurricane out of control that our satellite communications with anchor Dan Rather are sporadic, but we will try to go back to him in Panama City. Dan?
Thanks, John. The hurricane has been hitting full force right in here to Panama City Beach and the area to the east and to the west. It's been hitting full force for a long minutes now. And you can feel the wind picking up, still picking up as it comes. Remember that hurricanes turn in a counterclockwise direction. And we're on the upside of the hurricane, which is the worst side of the hurricane. The wind doesn't get much worse than it is right here. The eye has hit Pensacola, Florida, which is, as you know, to the west of here.